Yeah, girl, I agree with Kim Kardashian. Like, I have 3 kids and I hated it. Like, and I'm like, no. I was like, the only part I liked about being pregnant was the labor part, because my labor was easy and everybody was taking
Really?
care of me. And so I
Yep.
was like, I'm not worried about nothing. They giving me ice chips, they giving me Jello, so I'm in heaven. Like, but
Perfect.
yeah, all of my pregnancies, they didn't last as long as most people's pregnancies. I mean, well, their labor did, or
Yeah.
at least I wasn't paying attention and I didn't count. But it
Hmm.
was easy for me. Labor was easy, but the pregnancy and the carrying part, I don't like it. I don't. And it's just like one of those things. It's like, I just don't like being tired. I don't like being sick. I don't like, because I'm one of those moms that have to be moving. Like, I
Hmm.
have to like make sure that I can clean my house when I'm ready to clean my house. Or like now that I'm working as a preschool teacher too, it's like I want to be able to be like, oh, I can go and go to work and not feel some type of way and not no mood swings.
Right.
But it seemed like I got it all. I got the sickness, I got the mood swings, I got all of it. And it was just like, I don't like it. Like,
Right.
and so I can agree with what she said, because I
Yeah.
was just done. And I was a little judgmental to people too. Like when they say, "Oh, I love being pregnant," I'm like, "Yeah, you stay over there with your little
Right.
loving pregnant self." But I just didn't like it. I didn't like the feeling of it at all. And,
Yeah. It's there were definitely parts that I enjoyed more than others. Like when she was big enough for me to actually feel her, then it's like, okay,
yeah,
I know you're okay because I can feel you. Whereas when she was really, really tiny, I couldn't
yeah,
feel anything. So it's more so I have to depend on an ultrasound to tell me like, are you doing okay? Yeah.
yeah,
So yeah, like feeling the first kicks and knowing like, okay, that's you. That's not that.
yeah.
That's you. Like, okay, okay, girl, I feel you in there. Cool. Um, yeah, I would say the hardest, I guess another gripe that I had was being winded because
Oh,
being winded and then there was only nausea for me if I hadn't eaten. So if it's time for me to have another snack, then I would get nauseous. And I was a traveling therapist. So there's nothing
okay,
worse than sitting with someone and you're helping them process their emotions and I'm like,
yeah,
oh, I should not have skipped that snack.
yeah,
Am I gonna make it through? And I'm like, yes.
yeah,
Like I'm super uncomfortable because I'm like, I really hope I do not throw up like on your floor.
yeah.
And then, it seemed like it would always happen like maybe towards the end of a session. Like when it would happen, it's like, and we're done for today. All right. I'll see you next week. Enjoy.
Yeah, oh,
Yeah. And I get in the car and I'm like, hurry up and find something to eat. Hurry up and find something to drink. Cause I guess she didn't like me to be hungry because she didn't like
no,
me.
and then even when you feel like that, you get moody, and it's like,
Mm-hmm.
oh,
Yeah.
it's the worst. But I mean, but there is blessings
Oh,
and
yes.
being able to carry, because like even it's another part of my story that I'll tell like more in detail on my podcast. But I've
Mhm.
had 3 miscarriages, and it's like,
I'm sorry, you said 3?
yes,
Okay.
3. And so it's one of those things, just like, man, you feel what women feel when they can't have children, or when they're
Mhm.
crying, and being too that I already have 3, but still having those 3 miscarriages, you still feel like that's my baby, that's
Yeah.
a part of me that I
That's
took
exactly
care
what it is.
of. Yeah. And so it's tough, but I'm kind of grateful though that I'm on both sides, so I can
Mm.
really be able to relate to
Exactly.
both sides, and just be a little bit more mindful for women that are like grieving and want, and can't,
Mhm.
or they can't, or they're just in that stage of like, what did you do? For me, because I've had people ask me that question a lot, like, what did you do after how did you end up getting pregnant, like all this stuff. And to be, it's cliche, but most of the time I'll just tell them I stopped worrying. I was like, I just
Mm.
hung it up and was like, if it happens, it happens, and if it doesn't, it doesn't. And I also changed my eating habits. I don't eat meat anymore, so I'm a vegetarian, not a vegetarian. Actually, I'm doing this diet thing where I have to eat meat, so I'm doing shrimp. But before that, I was vegan, and so
Mhm.
I don't know. I really feel for moms and women that want to be moms that have lost their babies or can't have babies because
Yeah.
it it leaves a hole in you, you know?
Yeah. I can only imagine. I know
Yeah.
there were things that I wanted to accomplish before having my daughter, and I accomplished two out of three.
Mhm.
So, most people say, hey, that's a huge success, and the third one is on the way. So, even though like feeling like, oh, like, there was still that one thing I wanted to accomplish, like before bringing her into the world. It's like, okay, but are you ready to have a miscarriage?
Yeah.
Like, would you be okay with that? Like, if
Mhm.
that's what it would take for you to have your way, for you to be selfish,
Yeah.
like, would you be okay with
True.
having
Yeah.
a piece of you gone forever?
Yeah.
And thinking
Yeah.
about it like that, it's like, no, I would not be
Yeah.
okay.
I
Not
wouldn't
at
wish
all.
that on anybody either, because it's just like, because it mentally play on your psyche, and even physically, you have to go through a lot physically, and then it's just because you just don't go back to normal after losing a baby. You literally have to go through the whole hormone process. Like your hormones got to go down. You have to get a DNC, like all that stuff, and it's just like it's it's gruesome. I don't like it, and I'm sure a lot of women would testify and say they don't like it either.
Mm-mm.
It's just one of those things. Like I wouldn't wish it on anybody ever.
Absolutely not. I couldn't imagine. Like, it's never happened to me, but I feel like when a woman tells me I had a
Yeah,
miscarriage, and I'm like, you what?
yeah,
Oh shoot! Like, that's a totally different type of loss because you didn't even get to meet this person yet.
yeah,
So
yeah. They
yeah.
say uh, a lot of the doctors they kind of try to make you feel better, but it doesn't make you feel better. But they'll say that it happens more often to you that
Mm-hmm.
you don't realize, because you know how when you are about to have your menstrual cycle that you go through the symptoms of being pregnant. Some people,
Mm-hmm.
she
Yeah.
she was saying like most women be pregnant and don't know it, and it just doesn't stick, and then your
Mm-hmm.
menstrual. But I was like, well, if that was supposed to make me feel better, it did not. Like,
Right. Like,
I was like,
I,
okay,
I,
like,
like, just because I didn't hold this child in my arms doesn't mean like it wasn't my child that I lost.
yeah,
That's a whole baby. That's a piece of me, my piece of my husband. That's no longer here. So couldn't. Yeah, I could not imagine. And so I feel like you, me, and other moms, I'm sure you'll have a space for that too. Moms who have lost babies, or women who are actively trying to get pregnant who have lost babies. Or maybe they're just like, I don't know where to start.
yeah,
Like, maybe I want to have a sisterhood that more so I get informal advice, where it's like,
yeah,
okay, like, what if I'm like really worried? Like, I don't know if this is going to happen for me. It's been so long. I've been off of birth control for God knows how long, and I still haven't been able to conceive. Like, being able to have a professional as well as, a sisterhood network to like talk about it. So
yeah. Sorry, my kids was like, Mom, can we get ice cream?
we get ice cream.
Go ask Dad, guys. Um, but yeah, it's gonna be a space for that. It's really gonna because there's even room for women that don't want to have kids,
How
and that's
do you feel
another
about that? That's
yeah,
good. That's
that's
good.
what yeah, because most women feel the pressure of that too, and the
Hmm.
families make them feel that. Like it's just like no, if they don't want to have kids, they don't want to have kids. It's nothing wrong with them.
No.
They're not like on the other team, if you know what I mean. It's like they just really don't want to have kids and live their life. And I remember my oldest, she told me that she was like, Mom, I don't want to get married and I don't want to have kids. And I was like, that's completely fine, girl. I was like, you want to live your life, you live your life, you live your best life, and I was
Right.
because I will not put that burden on my kids, but I'm also not older, so it's like I don't know I don't know the how they feel, but it's like I'm not gonna put that pressure on my girls. I'm not. If they don't want to have kids, they don't want to have kids. Even my son, it's just like that's why I want to create that space because there's people that just don't want to have kids, and it's
Right.
nothing. absolutely wrong with that. And that's why it's called You, Me, and Other Moms, because it's not just about moms, even though that's the bulk of it, but it's a sisterhood. It's about like women too. It's about
Mm-hmm.
women who want to have kids or don't want to have kids or just thinking about it, whatever. It's like you don't have to feel some type of way because you're
Right.
not a mom. It's not that at all.
That's good because everybody just like you said, everybody doesn't want to be a mom. Some women are very satisfied and content with being auntie.
Yeah. Yes.
It's like why would you pull that person like out of their character and out of what makes them content and makes them who they
Yeah.
are just because you think, well, you need to experience this miracle that I've experienced. And they're like, no, thank you, I don't want to. And that's fine.
Yeah. And
Like we
it's
all
completely
we all are
fine.
so different. Like we all have
Yeah.
different interests. We all, pursue different career paths. We all have
Yeah.
different tastes as far as like, those of us who are married, what we chose versus like what we
Yeah.
didn't. And that's what, makes the world so great is that there are no carbon copies running around. Like everybody is different, whether it be like large differences or small ones.
Yeah.
And just
That
be able to
it's
embrace
so
that.
funny that you said that because all my kids, like all three of my kids and my husband, they wanted another baby, and I'm just like, I'm good. Like Avery, she's 6. I'm like, it's good. Whatever. If it happens, it happens. If it doesn't, it doesn't.
Mm-hmm.
But I will always joke and say that my babies are my preschoolers because I'm a preschool teacher,
Right.
and I'm like that. Those are our babies. I have them for a couple hours and then they go home.
Yeah.
And we have dogs too. I'm like, those are our babies. Like, and it's just so funny because it's just that I don't feel like that people they just put I won't say the struggle, but they just put their own desires on people. And it's like, no, like if they don't want kids, they don't want kids, and it's okay. It's okay.
Right. Right. I remember one of the classes I was taking when I was finishing up my prerequisites before going to graduate school. The professor said she and her friend, they were in the grocery store and they were buying, they're buying contraceptives.
Yeah.
And I guess some woman was looking at them like, in a judgmental way, like, oh, like looking at them like, like they're out here and they're super loose. And they're like,
Yeah.
well, at least we're protecting ourselves, and the
Yeah.
likelihood of us having an unplanned pregnancy is a lot lower. Like, isn't that
Yeah.
better to be responsible?
Right.
So
That's
it's funny how we can call ourselves, judging someone based on what they're doing or not doing. It's like, but you don't have the context as to why they're doing what they're doing.
yeah.
It's like, just mind your business.
Yeah.
Work out
Like,
your own salvation, okay? And leave these people alone. Pray for them. Leave them alone.
yeah. Or ask questions. And I kind of feel like people don't like to ask questions, so it's easier to assume.
Mm-hmm.
Like, oh, I think I know. Nah, you don't know. You really don't know. And
You have no clue.
no, and that's one of the things that me and my husband always talk about. I was like, no. And then I try to teach my kids, like, don't assume. Like, if you really want to know and you take the time to ask someone, like, don't
Mm-hmm.
assume that they feel this way or they did this because it's like, no, like, give them room to tell you why and give them room to like if they want to explain. But if not, it's none of your business. It's not right to just assume that and especially when it comes to when people make certain decisions for their own lives. So
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And, just like you're sitting here judging somebody for the decisions that they made, there are people judging you for the decisions that you make. There's someone who's
right,
looking at us right now like, we got 3 kids.
right,
I could have
like
do that. Why you only
girl,
have one? And then looking at me, why you only have one? It's like, because only one was in my womb and only one came out. Okay.
right. That's what God
That's,
said. God
that's how
said,
God
"Let it
played it.
be. This is
Right.
what He did for me." Like,
Yeah. And I remember I was, when I found out that I was pregnant, someone had actually asked me, like, I think it's like 2 days after I found out. And, because I told you I still had like, this one major goal that I wanted to
oh
accomplish
yeah,
before getting pregnant. So I'm like, I'm pregnant and we haven't accomplished this goal. And so then somebody messaged me and said, when will you start a family? And I was like,
what?
I'm pretty sure I didn't say anything online, right?
Yeah,
So I found a GIF of Beyonce, and she said when it was from the Michelle Williams song "Say Yes." So she's like, "When
oh
Jesus
yeah,
say yes."
oh yeah.
So I
That
was
yeah,
like, "When Jesus say yes, we will have a child." And I had a child in my womb at that moment, but I was like, not sharing this just yet. Because I think I was approaching 7 weeks when I found out. Had no clue.
Well, that's the thing. I
Yeah.
just, yeah, and you know what? People have different reasons too when they want to share and why they don't want to share and stuff like that. And it's just
Yeah.
like, it's so hard. People just be so. I feel like some people just be so bored, or maybe it's just their personality, but they just be on people business. It's
Hmm.
like, no, it's okay. Just stay in your lane and let me stay in mine. Like,
I will
it's
share
fine.
when I'm ready to. I will share what I'm
Yeah.
comfortable sharing. For me, it was more so, okay, like we have a pretty large family. And so
Mhm.
I'm going to get enough questions from people that I do know. So I just figured, okay, as far as people that I don't know, and maybe I'm not as comfortable sharing a lot of intimate details with, as far as like, the pregnancy, like, oh, like here's a 5 month belly shot, here's a 6 month belly shot. I was like, I'm just
Yeah.
going to enjoy this pregnancy offline. And then once my daughter is here and she's healthy, whoops, bam, surprise, I had a baby.
Right.
Then people were like, you were pregnant all this time? And I was like, yeah,
Yeah.
I
And
was.
it's not nobody's business. And I mean, some people really enjoy the the attention of being pregnant, and some women don't. And it's
Mhm.
just like another. It's also okay, and it's just like one of those things that you gotta go with the flow with certain people, and it's
Yeah,
just like you just gotta remember that everybody, like you were saying, everybody is not the same, and we all come from different walks of life. We've had different experiences, so it's like you can't judge everybody and put everybody in the same category
right.
as you may be in, or you may think that
Hmm.
someone else should be in. So yeah, it's one of
Yeah.
those things.
I, I know when I was younger, I had different thoughts as far as like how vocal I would be about pregnancy. And then once I got older and then like the experience finally happened for me, I was just like, I think I just want to enjoy this offline. I don't want this to just be another thing to post. And of course, that's not how I think of my daughter. But
Yeah,
yeah, I just wanted to enjoy the moments as
yeah,
opposed to, oh, I have to make sure that I look really nice for this picture that I'm going to take because it's going to be posted.
yeah.
And
That's funny you said that, because even right now in this quarantine, a lot of the families or a lot of women that are having babies,
yeah.
it can only be them and their significant other, when they have the baby. And I was
Hmm.
thinking to myself, being that I'm an introvert, I'm like, that will be heaven, like for me, like because even with my last daughter, I was like, I don't want nobody in there, like I don't. And of course, Justin was like, oh, he wanted his mom, his mom there,
Yeah.
and then my mom wanted to be there because she was there. But I was just like, why can't it just be us? Why
Hmm.
can't it? And I think it's just the tradition of just having a family there is the pressure of what a lot of women feel. But it's like, I like, it's just one of those things. It's like now in quarantine when they're forced to like just have dad, mom, and baby. One
Hmm.
of these girls said she was like, it was just the most peaceful thing ever. She was like, I didn't have to tell nobody no. I didn't have to tell people that I didn't want them in here. It was just
Right.
so peaceful. It was just me, my babies, and the doctors or whatever. She was like, they rarely came in because we were healthy, of course, they were
Hmm.
healthy. And she was like, but it was just so peaceful. I didn't have to, people weren't coming in and out. And I was just like, girl.
Yeah. As far as
I,
the labor and delivery process, I did opt for it to just be me and my husband in the room. And then, I just told family, like, as soon as she's here, like, yeah,
yeah,
I don't have any limits on visitation hours. So, and then people were very considerate too, as
yeah,
far as the timing. You're going to need your rest. So, of course, we're not going to be here all hours of the night, all hours of the day. And then even people were very mindful and very sensitive when I came home as well. Like, hey, let me know when you're up for visitors. Is it okay if we stop by? I appreciated that a lot. And it was a really great experience with it just being me, my husband, and then there was a nurse and then a midwife.
okay,
Yeah. And
yeah,
so there weren't a lot of people in the room like while I was actively pushing. And then like when she came out and she was good to go, we did skin to skin for the first hour, and then like his parents had came, and then my parents and my brother and my nieces came to see her. So it was really nice. They're very, very peaceful, like those that first day. So yeah, as opposed to like, I felt like I didn't want to have a parade of people like in the hospital, because it's like, let me get home and get settled, and then it's like,
You can
okay,
come
you want to come
with it.
today, you want to come tomorrow, this person wants to come next week, because then I would feel like, okay, I'm back in my home element and I have like a bit more control.
Yeah. Yeah. That's when I have my next baby, I'm considering like just really being that way, because with my other, they are so cute walking over here with ice cream. With my other, with my three, it was different with each kid, being that I had my first, so it was like my sister was in there, she was holding one leg, my mom was on the other side holding one leg, and then I
Yeah.
had like dad was in there, and so it was just one of those things like, dang, it was so many people, but
Yeah.
I didn't know I had, that right to be like, oh, I didn't want, and then my other two, it was kind of like, oh, we family, so
Mm-hmm.
we could. And then I just didn't want to deal with the stress of saying no. But
Mm-hmm.
now that but even with Avery, I just got to that point. I was like, no, this is my third kid. No,
Right.
like they this and this and that, because it cuts back on one a lot of the germs that comes in and out, and
That's true.
it cuts back on the just even when you after having a baby, you're just so exhausted, and you just don't want. Well, for me, I can speak for myself. I
Mm-hmm.
just didn't want to entertain nobody. I didn't want to talk to nobody. And then that first night with Avery, her little butt was cluster feeding. I don't know if you went through that. Like,
Oh
she
man.
wanted to drink, like just everything. And I was nursing at the time. And so I was having to get used to that. It was hurting. And so I just didn't want to deal with people because I was up that whole night, the first night. And
Mm-hmm.
so I was just like, no. Like, and so luckily we were able to just have that night to ourselves. And then next day, Justin was like, people calling me, do you want people coming over? And I was just like,
Mm-hmm.
not yet. No, not
Yeah.
yet. So yeah,
And
the
that's
next
good.
time I think I'm gonna be a little bit more strict and straight up. Like, this
Yeah.
is how it's gonna go. This is what we go. This is how it's gonna run and stuff like that. So
Yeah, and it's good like being able to have that conversation with your husband, and then also, the medical staff too. They
yeah,
say like whatever you want or do not want, put it in your birth plan and they will
yeah,
execute it. So, asking those questions like, okay, what are visitation hours? Oh, there's really no limit. It's just what you're comfortable with. And
yeah,
it's like, okay, well, I'm more comfortable like maybe only having immediate family come to the hospital, and then extended family, they can come to the house. So like
yeah,
being able to say that
yeah,
is good. And not being not feeling like you have to like take care of other people's feelings. I know like we moms, we do that, but it's like you just had
yeah,
a baby. Like
yeah. Girl, let me tell you what I was like so bougie when I had, because the labor part, that, like I said, it was my favorite. And
yeah.
so I was telling Justin, I was like, no, he was the one that was a little bit more like, babe, you should. I'm like, nope, 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 nope. And so after a while, I kind of like softened up around the end and stuff, because I was just like, man, it's just tough. But I just kind of feel like, yeah, they're excited to, but there still needs to be room for consideration
Hmm.
of mom might be tired, stuff like that. And so um it's just one of those things where you just have to literally weigh it out and see, like, even not be so scared of telling people no.
Yeah.
Like, y'all just gotta wait, and if they don't understand, they don't understand, but
Yeah.
it takes, I know some people, it's not it's easier said than done when it comes to
Sure.
things like that, but it's just one of those things where it's just like, you just really gotta, now that you have a baby, you just gotta really be like, okay,
Hmm.
I want this, I don't want this, mean what you say what you mean, and just be okay with it, because most of the time
Right.
they might be mad, but then they'll come around, especially if they want to see the baby, they'll be all
Right.
right.
Especially if they want to see the baby and they want to have a relationship with that child. It's like you do realize the parents are the gatekeepers, right? You are not
Yeah.
going to treat the gatekeeper any type of way and get in the gate.
Right.
So you want to have a relationship with the kid, you have to be very careful of how you treat the parents.
Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah, you just, it is what it is. It's like, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I'm not, I would feel some type of way. Like if my child was really close to someone that was like disrespectful of my boundaries, or
Yeah.
made me feel like some type of way, where it's like I got to sit up here and put on a mask because my kid likes you, but I'm uncomfortable around you. It's like no,
Yeah. No.
no,
Like it had to be like that for some, like a while for some certain family members, but like even with my children, I'm one of those moms that's just like, nah, I'm their first protector. Like not to like throw shade to Justin, but it's just
no.
something that I always told myself as a kid, and then going through what I went through as a kid, I was like, I don't care who you are, I'm not about to let nobody mistreat my kids. Y'all not gonna say this. If y'all don't like respect me, y'all will not be in my kids' life. And that's just the kind of boundary that I set for myself, one, as a woman, as a black woman at that, because I kind of feel
Mhm.
like that a lot of family, well, I won't say a lot of families, so let me take that back, but I just kind of feel like that the mom and the grandmoms of like our generation is kind of like, well, whether I'm toxic or not, you have to respect me because I'm your mama type of thing, or I'm your
Right,
grandma type of thing. And I just don't agree with that. I don't agree with the people being toxic, but just because you're elder or older than me, that I should still allow you to be toxic in my life because of that, of your age and
right,
of levels. And I just don't agree with that. And I just think that women should know, like not even just black women, but just people in general should know that if it's toxic, it's toxic. You everybody, but it's just to say these are my boundaries. This is what I will accept. This is what I won't accept, and this is what I will do to protect myself and my children,
hmm
and leave it at that. And girl, let me tell you, like that has saved my life. Like that has saved me so much stress in my life when it comes to certain people, because it's just like, no, I'm not a kid no more. I don't have to deal with all these things that
right.
society or people tell me that I have to deal with because that's my mom or my dad or my older cousin. Or no, it's not. It don't
Right.
work like that.
No, it really doesn't. And one of my family friends, she made a really good point. Um, she is she's been doing my hair since I was like 12 years old. So
Mhm.
she's not just somebody that like does my hair. Like she's definitely become family to me. And she made a really good point. She was saying that sometimes the older generations, they grew up in an era where children were seen and not heard. So
Yeah.
feelings are not validated at all. Um, and it doesn't mean like, oh, like if your child expresses their feelings to you, like you just kind of have to just like roll over and do everything that they say. But it's like you can acknowledge their feelings and also still set your boundaries. Like, I'm sorry that this hurts your feelings. However, I'm doing this to protect you,
Yeah.
as opposed to get somewhere and sit down.
Yeah.
Did nobody ask you nothing? And so she was saying, like, the older people from that era, because they were supposed to be seen and not heard, like now they have reached an age where it's just like, well, I'm gonna just tell it like it is. I'm gonna just say whatever I want. It's like, yeah, because now you're no longer a child. And so all of the things that you wanted to say, all of the times that your voice was silenced, you're gonna make up for that. And as a result, like you're damaging the younger generation
Yeah.
because I don't know about a lot of other communities, but I do know in the Black community, especially like Black families, like you were saying, I can
Mhm.
be toxic and you still have to respect me because I'm your mom or I'm your grandmother or I'm your father or I'm this or whatever. Because I'm an elder, you have to tolerate this toxicity. It's like, no, we're debunking that myth in 2020 and beyond.
Yeah. Of
So,
course. I actually wrote a blog about that, and it's so crazy. It's called Black Womanhood. I mean, Black Motherhood, and
mhm,
it's kind of like it's being transparent on my part as being like trying to figure out who I am as a girl, and just. But at the same time, it's also like challenging other Black moms to like sever that generational of dysfunction. It's kind of like,
mhm,
no, let's talk to our kids. Like just because they feel a certain type of way and they're expressing it doesn't mean that they're being disrespectful, and
right,
it means like they have feelings, and they're trying to express their feelings. And if we continue that toxic dysfunction of saying, oh, you be quiet, you sit down, you don't say nothing, no, I don't care how you feel, it's kind of like it's creating that
right,
generational like dysfunction. And it's like, no, as moms, we want to be able like, okay, I get it. I understand you feel this way, but like I'm doing this because. And I actually had a conversation. Well, it was a debate with me and my husband it was a couple weeks ago because I watched my nephew. And so me and Justin had a debate like a couple weeks ago. And it was probably like a month ago where I would tell so watched my nephew and my niece like twice a week when my brother go to work. And so it was one of those things where I let the kids say no to me, but I tell them, I say no is not a choice right now because you have to do blah 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 blah. And him growing up, he was like, what, you let kids say no to you? And it's like, they don't say no to me, but then they do. But it's like, I understand, but you have to do this because this is what I said at this moment. Right. And I kind of feel like that has to be a balance. And I feel like that's more healthy than saying, I said no, and you got to do this right now. Because if you continue to do that, like even for me, my mom, she was one of those moms that she would say like, oh, you shouldn't have sex before marriage. And thinking that, I was like, okay, even though I was in church, but I really wanted to know why. Right. But I couldn't ask why because they wouldn't tell me. They'll be like, because I said so, or this, right. Because it's just because. But I feel like because I let my kids ask me why, and I say no, not right now, because one, it gives them context of why I'm saying no. Right. And then they'll also understand like, oh, she's not saying this to be mean, but she's saying this to keep me safe, or she's saying this because I have to do this work right now, or she's saying this because something, there's like right. context to why you're saying no, or why you're saying for them to do something. And I feel like that gives children respect, that teaches them to respect themselves, and it also teaches them to say no when it's appropriate to say no.
Right. Yeah. And then there can also be a balance with like there are some things you can say no and give context, and there's other things where it's like it's no and it's no. Like there doesn't need to be an explanation. Like for example, when you were saying the next time that you the next baby that you have, okay, I want my birth plan to look like this. And if it doesn't fit it, I'm saying no to it. And I don't have to give you context if I don't want to. Yes. And so children need to learn, like, there are some boundaries that just don't need to be explained.
Right. Yeah. And especially because someone asked me that. They were like, what if like a kid just go run in the street and you explain to them? I'm like, no, heck no. You snatch their little butt up and tell them you don't do this. Like, and then later you be like, this is not safe. Like, it can even be something quick. It's like, you can't do this. This is not safe. You can get hurt real quick. But it's kind of like we have to reprogram ourselves as women or just parents in general to say why, like, versus like just saying no because I said so. And and I feel like that as we grow as parents, and then as we pass it on to our kids, like they'll pass it on to their kids. Like, we saying this because of this, and so. Yeah, it's just one of those learning things, and that has to be consistent with like us as parents in our generation for our kids to catch on.
Right, to break those cycles of dysfunction, it's going to take continual practice. Yeah. Well, we definitely covered. You said what?
I'm sorry. No, I was saying that I definitely have to post that blog. I've been sitting on it, and I have to just post it. I was supposed to have been posted, but I didn't.
Is it going to be on You, Me, and Other Moms or Life with Asia?
Yes, it's going to be on the You and Me and Other Moms.
I would definitely love to read it.
I will post it. Maybe I'll get up there and make the graphic and post it today. I don't know. We'll see.
All right. I mean, let this be motivation. Not a strong arm, push your arm behind your back, but motivation. I'm all for it.
Yeah, I got it.
This has definitely been an awesome conversation. I appreciate your time. Was there any closing remarks that you had? I know I'm going to make sure that I put links to your Instagram pages like in the description box. But and you're cool with me posting this to my channel, correct?
Yes. Okay. I just want to say thank you for this opportunity, for just opening it up to me. And I really appreciate everything that you're doing too. And it's like so amazing. And it's just, we need more of each other like this because it's only going to grow. And I just speak blessings and stuff over your channel and everything that you're doing. And I'm just excited for you.
Thank you. I receive those blessings, and I pray tenfold for you as well. Keep going, keep doing what you're doing. School, you're a boss mom, you're a wife. You're doing it all. You're just doing it all. And we need it. So, yeah. Well, thank you so much for your time, and I'll catch y'all in the next video.
Bye.